You know, if South Africa does not address this racism thing and apartheid, the legacy of apartheid that is still living within our communities and especially in institutions like schools, we're going to have a big problem in South Africa. A big problem, because our children in these white schools don't know where to cry to. They don't know who to report these things to, and they don't know who will hear their cry. Social media saves them because they can put something on video and just share it on social media platforms. But what is happening at Girls High, where the persistent racism from the same school, from the same schools, all around South Africa, Girls High is a problem. Boys High is a problem. But nothing is being done because our government simply does not have the willpower or even the know-how to deal with racism in schools. The best and the worst they can do is to suspend someone. Now, 12 learners have been suspended. 12 racist white learners have been suspended. Better believe that there are still racist white teachers in that school with a white principal. Still racism is a norm, is a way of life for many African people. And this, they teach it to their children. While you Africans are teaching your children that love everyone, multiracial party, the Africans people are teaching their children to say, lost their Africans. You know, they're using the K word against our children. They make sure that they tell them that the black children in your school are not equal to you, while you guys are busy saying, listen, my child, love everyone, respect everyone, and you know, just be humble. When they swear at you, just, guys.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kaiso Hlongwane Zinjiva, and we're back at it again with another one. Listen, this is why we are opening PASETA. This is why we need you to support PASETA, the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. This is why we need you Africans to send your 50 rand so we can build our own institutions. Listen to this.
Now, the Gauteng Education Department is investigating Pretoria Girls High School staff following allegations of racism. 12 pupils were last week suspended for allegedly creating a whites-only WhatsApp group filled with racism and microaggression. In a meeting with the school governing body, victims complained of little to no action by the principal and teachers when racist incidents were reported. Gauteng Education spokesperson Steve Mabona says the matter is under investigation. Meanwhile, the suspended pupils will face a disciplinary hearing next week.
We were informed by the district because they were alerted on the 18th. On Friday, they visited the school and they interacted with actually the aggrieved learners. That's where all these grievances were put on the table. So the SGB, what they had to do was to decide whether they suspend the learners or they will keep them, but they'll continue with the disciplinary process. And they decided to immediately, suspend them. But you know that you need to do that, give them 7 days. Within that space, you need to conduct your disciplinary process because they don't want to prejudice the learners' right to education. So we understand that the process will then be starting on the 30th and it will end on the 31st because it's 12 learners that we're talking about. So we give them that space to operate because there might be recommendations which might go to the head of the department, be it expulsion, be it anything. So you don't want to interfere with them. Their process need to be smooth. The only thing that we are doing as the department at the school through the district, we have then launched our probe as far as all the allegations that were put on the table against the employees, not only the principal, but some educators that there's allegations against them. So we started with that investigation, and we should be in a position to take action.
As you guys, I'm part of the SG committee of my school, my son's school. So I know what is happening in this disciplinary hearing nonsense that the department is talking about. The department does not want to interfere because the department does not know what to do. There is nothing that is going to happen to these girls. All they're going to get is, that's all. That's all they're going to get, because South Africa does not want to deal with the racism in a harsh way. That's why we need this Bella bill so much. President, we know you're not going to sign it, but please, Panyaza told you to sign the Bella bill, because we need to take some powers out of the SG and give it to the department so the department can start to act harshly on racist incidents. You understand what I'm saying, my people? So, listen, there's teachers also that have got allegations. These learners have been reporting it to the principal, and the principal did nothing. Nothing. The principal did absolutely fuck all. You understand what I'm saying? So the department, for them not to step in and take this thing over, it shows that they have absolutely no expertise to deal with something like this. And this is a case that beats the department all the time, from the same school, man. From the same school. No, let's hear what were the problems that were encountered from the same school years ago. Am I right? Listen to this.
I'm just a parent.
I'm a
parent.
Obviously, we are leading 14-year-olds to 35-year-olds. That's our constituency here. There's a return of what was there in the past called the lies policy. Now they are trying to introduce a policy that says black students must be subjected to a straightening of hair. We are really opposed to that. We are seeing that from the 3rd of August, the ugly head of racism is actually busy rearing its ugly head again. And therefore we're here to condemn that. Even that policy, before they even try to implement it, we're going to stop it.
Just here to support the girls. They're doing what we were too scared to do. We were pushed down, literally, and they threatened us with all sorts of things, like not writing matric exams just for speaking out against the injustices. And from the outside, now we can see how oppressive this was, and we just want to stand with them and support them all the way. We're Girls High pupils. We know the struggle. We've been there. We've been oppressed in class, and we've only realized that we've been oppressed a few weeks ago after those girls came out. I remember in grade 9, we were told by a specific teacher that we shouldn't speak our township languages in class. We were told our afros were too big, our braids shouldn't be bigger than 1 centimeter in diameter. We were told a lot, and we are here to fight for the girls that are still in the school, because if we don't, then who will?
These are former girls from the same school that has problems today. You remember that girl with a beautiful afro raising a fist and saying, man, fighting for her rights. This one, I think, was back in 2016. Same school. Same school, same problems. Same school, same problems. Former girls at that time were coming out to say, listen, we suffered the same thing. I remember in grade 9, they said we must not speak our township languages. That's why you guys must send your children to PASETA. And I'm not doing this video to campaign for PASETA, of which I am, but I'm just showing you guys how we Africans have failed to build our own institutions at the highest level. When you go to PASETA, you must, from the gate, the paving into the gate, the flowers outside of the school, not inside the school, you must, wow, what type of school is this? Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. Wow, Wow, there is the engineering faculty. There is the a practical subject faculty. Here's the economics faculty with the accounting. There's the technology faculty. Wow, that side is agriculture. They're learning about the plants. They're learning about how to deal with farming, the roots, how to take care of the soil. I want you guys to have that type of reaction when you get into PASETA. When you go, listen, some of us, we know. I was in Kimberley Boys High. We know this racism. We know it. But the school I experienced the most racism was Lar School Alma. If you've been on my channel, you've heard me say this many times again and again. Was Lar School Alma number one? I have to think because I've been to 10 different schools. Lar School Alma, the racism I experienced there. You were made to feel that you are a black K-word. You were made to feel. Our principal was Mr. Kluter back in 2002, 2003. Was in primary school that time. Racism. Now, how are you going to solve this? The same school, the Department of Education does not step in, does not say, you know what, enough is enough. We can't trust a school governing body because school governing body is probably white people with one black person or two black people in there. So, you know, the department does not step in. And the same things were happening in KwaZulu-Natal. You remember when the EFF was there? But if you have forgotten, it's okay. Your boy King is going to refresh your mind.
The KZN Education MEC saying an independent panel is going to be set up to investigate allegations of racism and apparent financial irregularities at the school. But he refused to take questions after this, which is what has started this. The EFF has come to these meetings as well. And you can see they are demanding what action, immediate action, is going to be taken. Let's speak to one of the EFF members. Sir, tell me, what are you currently telling the KZN Education MEC? What are the demands by the EFF?
Yeah, but he did not give us an opportunity to speak. He just gave us an address and then he just left. When we raised hands that he must take questions, he refused. Right? Now, through his address, he said to us there were issues in this school a couple of years ago. And he came. And then he left. He thought those issues were resolved. And now he's coming back. The issues are still there. And then he said, no, I'm going to establish a panel. This is going to do an investigation. And then while the investigation is ongoing, this alleged racist is not going to be suspended. Now the question is, the question that we're asking ourselves, how is then going to be able, these kids, to a fair trial? Because, I mean, it's common knowledge. A person that we are alleging that has done a misconduct,
must be suspended.
And then you are saying we are not going to suspend them, and you subject these kids to that kind of treatment. Because she will be roaming around. She will be roaming around the school together with these learners. They have actually made allegations against her. So do you think that they are going to be able to get a fair trial? It doesn't make sense. And it's a common practice. It does happen. You do suspend someone pending the investigation. If they can't suspend, can they put her on leave, special leave? So this is our argument. So now she wants, the MEC wants to come here and address these learners to actually say, no, everything is under control. We are not going to allow that. Thank you.
That is Etiquini EFF's Tema Voodoo, just speaking about a call for a suspension of the apparent staff member who is alleged to have hurled racial insults at people. My colleague Pilani Zuma will give you an overlay of what we are seeing right now. We're seeing school pupils of the Pretoria Girls High School gather at the assembly point in
the MEC goes to the school to go and try and calm the situation down. But the MEC says, yeah, you know what? There's been situations like this in this school in the past. I was here in the past for the same situation. Now I'm going to do what the ANC does best, appoint a special panel to deal with this thing. They don't know how to deal with racism. They don't. And that is why we don't understand when African people are saying things are not good for them in our country. African people are the most protected people from their children up to the adults. The adults, nobody's touching their land, nobody's taking their minerals that they have stolen, nobody's touching their white businesses, nothing happens. When it comes to the children, they are being protected from school level. They can be racist, they can do whatever they want, even the teachers can do whatever they want to our African children. And this is one of the reasons why we are building PASETA. It's not the main reason. The main reason is because we need to give African solutions to African problems by African people. That is the main reason why PASETA is established. And also we are saying the quality of education, this basic education that our children are being given is next to worthless. It's like our children are going there for daycare, that's all. There is nothing that our children are learning that can equip them to come and become responsible human beings after their schooling years. That's why you find them in universities losing themselves, because even the characters are not properly developed in the school years, of which is your conditional years, where you condition the mind, you condition the character and everything. This has been happening in KwaZulu-Natal. So you tell me, what must we do? If we as Africans don't stand up and establish our own institutions, from lawyers, doctors, engineers, IT technicians, and schools, clinics, everything. If we don't stand up and establish our own institutions, see, our children are still going to be racially attacked and discriminated in schools because we don't want to do our own thing. That is why we stood up. PASETA, the whole team stood up, said, never again. We are building our own school. We are building our own school. Who is going to stand up for these children? Because PASETA, legal minds, which is another leg of PASETA that we are trying to develop also once the ball starts going. The lawyers would have been at that school. We are going to send the lawyers to that school. But we are building, my people, slowly but surely, we are building. You guys are sending the emails, you guys are sending the WhatsApp, and you are saying, King, my expertise are this. Can I volunteer my expertise? We thank you very much. We are placing most of you from next week. We're going to do the inductions and everything. So a lot of things is going to happen. Excuse me, guys. A lot of things is going to happen starting next month. A lot of things is going to happen. So stay tuned, my African people. And I showed you Gauteng, I showed you KwaZulu-Natal, and you would think, that's enough, King. Well, let me show you Eastern Cape now. Let's go to PE, people. Let's go to PE, and let's hear what the former learners of PE are saying about the situation.
Absolutely outrageous that that's the stance that they would take, knowing that we would retaliate, because it's fabricating and it's painting a picture of experiences that we in fact didn't have at the school. So when we all saw that letter, we were like, which Clarendon are they talking about? Because if that was the case, I would have had a different experience at the school. My peers would have had a different experience at the school. So it was very important for us to say, back up, let's actually see what's going on here and let's actually intervene. Because it's one thing to write a letter and say you support Black Lives Matter. It's another completely to be saying that while silencing current pupils, but also silencing the experiences that we had at the school.
And what's even more disturbing, I suppose, is that current students are telling the same stories that no doubt you would have been telling back in 2005.
Absolutely. And I guess the difference now, of course, is that children use the power of social media. So we may not have had social media in the sense that you can take up your own story and you can feel vindicated in telling your own story. But really, we support the children and the current students. And it was so important for us to be in solidarity with them so that they don't feel gaslit, so that this thing doesn't happen outside of a vacuum and that they feel like they haven't been heard. And it was also really in a response to say with them, we're here with you. We see you, because the initial response, in fact, of Clarendon and many other schools in the same situation, because this has now become a national issue, is that it immediately goes into defense mode. And then for the people who are telling the story, you now have to prove over and over again that your story is valid. So for me, that's a form of gaslighting. And so what we had to say to the children is that we're in solidarity with you. Your stories are in fact echoing our stories, echoing the stories of children in other parts of the country in similar schools.
And here there was a letter that one student wrote from that school complaining about what was happening to the school. So now this is a former girls' high there in PE who experienced the same racism in 2005, ladies and gentlemen. 2005. So if there was racism in 2005, best believe there was racism in 2000. Best believe there was racism in the 90s. Of course there was racism in the 90s. And best believe there are many other schools till today that still practice this racism and white supremacy on our black children. It's still there. We like it or not, it's still there. You understand what I'm saying to you, Africans? So I don't know what more you want. What more? Because thina abalungu bayasihleka because we don't want to stand up and do anything. Bayasihleka. You know, when someone does something and the punishment is just a 2-week suspension, then come back to the school. The teachers is 1 month leave without pay, then come back to the school. The principal is that don't do it again. If you're punishing people like this, of course they're going to persist in doing this thing again and again, because the punishments are not, you don't take someone and make an example out of them. You don't take. We had a situation where an African man took out a gun in Limpopo for a small boy, kicking the boy until he fell down. He got out with something like 2,000 bail or something, was 20,000 or 2,000 bail. He's free now. We had a situation in Free State where children were being beaten, African children were being beaten up for going to swim with white people in the same pool. We have so many. Cyril Ramaphosa brought them one time when he was in Free State and said, "Oh, sorry, my boy." So nothing happened. Nothing. I have racism situations from way back in the school. Nothing happened. Those people are still living now. And I told you, Africans, you guys, you teach your children to love and respect everyone, not the Afrikaner, not the Boer. And I'm not speaking about all Afrikaner, all Boers. The majority of them, not all of them. The majority of them don't believe that Africans are equal to them. And I'll keep on saying that because that is the reality on the ground. And here is the proof. If you don't want to take my word for it, take this proof that is being played here. You know? So that is why we are standing up and saying, listen, enough is enough. We're going to build our own school. We are going to build our own school from scratch. With or without government help, with or without international help, we the people will contribute 50 rand and send it to the PASETA account. It's there in front of you. Please do. Please send it. Please send it. We need 10,000 people to send this 50 rand. 10,000 people. It's not a big number. It's not a big amount. We are asking you guys, let's build our own institutions, please. So that when we die, we can say no. When they ask us, what did you do about this apartheid and the racism at schools? We say, no, we build schools where black children can be safe and protected. That would be our answer. At least we would have done something that the government could not do. Angas, guys. Angas. In the background, things are happening. The website is already being designed. Some of you are asking King more information, whatever you are sending me, your WhatsApp on the WhatsApp number of PASETA, and you want to know things. Some of you are saying, King, I am so and so, I've got this expertise, how can I help PASETA? I really appreciate your WhatsApp and your emails and everything. I appreciate it. I'm responding to almost all of them. They are coming in high numbers because everyone is so excited about this project of PASETA, building an independent African school for African children. So it's very refreshing and heartwarming to see the response that we are getting, and everyone that is sending their hard-earned money to say, King, here's my 50 rand, here's my 100 rand, here's my 500, here's my 1,000. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate it. Please don't stop. There's so many things that we want to do. Website is running, everything is coming up together. I mean, the 3 months plan that we planned to do in the next 3 months, it looks like we'll achieve it in 1 month or 1.5 months, and then set more goals so that you guys can see that there is progress that is happening with your contributions. Thank you so much, guys. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. Nice.